Last time we spoke about ratios and we said ratios are the comparison of two quantities which have the same unit. Okay, so the only difference between a rate and a ratio, as it says here, a rate, like a ratio, is a comparison between two or more numbers or measurements, but the two numbers or measurements in a rate have different units. Okay, so that's the only difference. We're working with different units now here. So some examples of rates, for instance, in a shop, they can say potatoes cost 16.99 per kilogram, which they will write like this. This line over here means per 1 kilogram. And for speed, which is one that we use quite often, we could say someone is driving at 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, so those are what rates are. Now, usually we want unit rates to make life easier, okay? So unit rate means we want to know the price or the quantity per one. Okay, so let's look here. It says if it's 20 Rand for 2 kilograms of flour, okay, so we write it in the form of ratios, sort of, but not really, okay? But we want to know what it is per 1 kilogram of flour, because then it will make it easier. Because then if I know that I have 5 kilograms, I'm just going to say 5 times 10, which gives me 50 Rand for 5 kilograms. Do you see what I mean? So it's much easier when you have a unit rate, which means per one. So a unit means per 1 kg or 1 kilogram or 1 whatever. But that's what a unit rate is. So the way we write it, as I said, so you're going to write the price, which is 10 rands. And then you write a forward slash, not backslash. There's a backslash, not a backslash, a forward slash per kilogram. So you don't have to write that one. Okay. For instance, as we said, if you're driving a car, usually they say you could be driving at 80 kilometers per hour. Do you see? So it has to be a forward slash. And then we know that that 80 kilometers, excuse me, is for 1 hour. All right. So this would be unit rates. Now let's determine the rates of the following, okay? It doesn't say so here, but I would prefer that we determine the unit rates. So let me write it in brackets here on the side. Okay. What I want here is the unit rate. So per one. So for instance, the first one says 100 cars pass by in 2 hours. So your first step is you just write it as it is, okay? So it's 100 cars for 2 hours. Okay, so as a unit rate, how many would it be for 1 hour? If it is 100 cars for 2 hours, then for 1 hour, how many cars would you have expected to pass? Remember the calculations that we did with ratios? How did I get from 100 to 50? How did I get from 100 to 50? Remember, we're only timesing or dividing. Did I times by anything to go from 100 to 50, guys? Do you guys think I multiplied by anything to go from 100 to 50? No, I divided, right? I divided by 2. All right, which means I'm going to go on this side again and divide by 2, which will give me the rate for 1 hour. Okay, so then it will be, I actually did it the other way around. We shouldn't know this yet. We should know the 1 hour. There we go. The 1 hour is the one we know, and we want to know how many cars. So if I divide by 2 on the left, as we did over here, that means I must go on the right and do the same and divide by 2, which will tell me that per 1 hour, it will be 50 cars per hour. All right. So you start from what you have and you either times or divide to get to where you're going. Let's look at number B. I'm going to write here so that I don't waste space. You can paint 3 boards in half an hour. So we have 3 boards. I don't know why my handwriting looks so terrible today. Maybe let me fix my table. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, so as I said, we have 3 boards. Go back to where it's saying 20 Rand. Here. Is this what you mean? Welcome, Logan and Linomta. I see you guys. Okay, are you just taking a screenshot or are you asking a question? Let me do this so that we can still do the exercise where we are. There we go. Okay, welcome, Logan. So we're talking about unit rates. So they told us here we have 3 boards for half an hour, which is basically 0.5 of an hour, right? Now I want to know for 1 hour how many boards there are. So Logan, unit rates are per 1, which is always easier because if I know how many I take for 1, then I can always multiply to get what I want, right? So for half, we want to go from 0.5 to 1. So what do I have to multiply this side by to get to 1? 0.5. How many 0.5s do I need to get to 1, guys? I have to multiply it by 2. Right? Which means I have to go on the other side as well and multiply it by 2. So that means for 1 hour, I will have painted 6 boards. And if I have to write that as a rate, I say 6 boards per hour. Okay? Number C says 200 sausages for 50 people. Now I want to know how many I need for 1 person, okay? Just to make life easier for me. So I'm going to write here for 1 person. So how do I go from 50 to 1? I have to, tell me guys, do I have to times or divide? Let's just go with that. Do I have to times or divide to go from 50 to 1? What do you guys think? Am I going to be timesing or am I going to be dividing to go from 50 to 1? There to there. I will be dividing by 50. And if I'm dividing by 50 on one side, I must go and divide by 50 on the other side, which means it's going to be 200 divided by 50, which is 4 sausages. Okay, and as a rate, that means it will be 4 sausages per person. Okay, are we getting the hang of this, guys? Let's have a thumbs up, thumbs down quickly of what we are doing. Are you with me and understanding what we are doing here? Okay, I have 1 thumbs up. 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to assume the rest of you are with me. Okay. Right. They need 5 meters of thread to make 2 centimeters of cloth. Okay. Number D. I'm going to do, yeah, I'm just going to do number D, then we can move on. So this is 5 meters of thread to make 2 centimeters of cloth. I'm actually going to write what they are. Otherwise, we're all confused and we don't know what we need. Thread makes 2 centimeters cloth. Okay, so to go from 2 centimeters to 1, I have to divide by 2. Divide by 2. That means, no, Logan, this is a whole new lesson. Okay. This is a whole new lesson entirely. Last week, Thursday, we did scientific notation. No, we did rates, excuse me, ratios. So we did scientific notation on Tuesday, and then ratios. Today we're doing rates, and on Thursdays we're doing proportion. So this will give us what it is for 1 centimeters of cloth. That means I'm going to need 2,5 meters of thread. What do you notice about rates that is different from ratios, guys? What do you notice about the difference between rates and ratios? Those who are here for the ratio lesson. In ratios, we are allowed to have decimals. So if you look here, remember in ratios, we said we want to change those ratios into whole numbers. But in rates, if you get a rate such as this, where you have 2,5 meters of thread, just leave it as is. Okay. Right, let me zoom out so you guys can screenshot quickly and then we can move on. There we go. Any questions or are we all good? Hopefully we are all right, all good. All right. Let's get moving. Okay, so these are the types of rate questions you need to expect in exams, which are fast approaching because term 2 is about to start. Okay, water is drained from a tank at a rate of 25 liters per minute. Okay, so first things first, let's write this as a rate. Okay, so it's 25 liters per minute. That's the rate. If there are 3,000 liters in the tank, how long will it take till the tank is empty? Okay, let's go. Question 1. Right? So now I have liters and liters, and I want to get to minutes here. Do you guys think I'm going to multiply or do you guys think I'm going to divide? Look at the units. Look at the unit. Do you think I'm going to multiply or divide to get to my answer? What do we think? Anyone? Thank you. That is correct, Logan, because we're trying to get rid of the unit of liters. So I have 3,000 liters divided by 25 liters. So this per can also count as a fraction like that. You guys see that? So it's 25 liters per 1 minute. So if I divide, I just want to show you guys what happens with the units here, okay? That means I'm going to have 3,000 liters times, and I tip in times here. That means for 1 minute over 25 liters, right? So how many times is 25 going to 3,000? The math teacher doesn't have a calculator today. That's terrible. Let's see. It's 3,000 divided by 25, and that's 120 times. So you can take this and say this goes into itself once and into here 120 times. And do you see that this will cancel out the liters, which is what we're trying to get rid of? Do you see that, guys? So that means you're left with 120 times 1 minute, which means it will take us 120 minutes. Okay, how much water was in the tank if it could be emptied in 10 minutes? So this time we have the minutes. So are we going to multiply or are we going to divide? What do you guys think? Why am I writing 1 again? It's number 2. This time, do you think we are multiplying or we are dividing to get rid of the units? Thank you, Logan. We are indeed multiplying. So I'm going to say I have now 10 minutes. And I'm going to multiply it by my rate, which is 25 liters per 1 minute. Once again, these units will cancel out. Do you see that? So I'm left with liters. So then I have 10 times 25 liters, which means I had 250 liters. Okay, let's have a thumbs up, thumbs down on this question. This is the type of question we need to expect in our tests. Thank you. Wonderful. Bonang, you have vanished since you greeted my darling. Are you with me? Okay. Hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully screenshots have been taken so that we can move on. Okay, there we go. Wonderful. Okay, similar question here. Water is flowing into a dam at a constant rate of 600 liters per hour. Okay, so my rate here is 600 liters per hour. Number A, how much water will flow into the dam in 2 hours? Are we dividing or are we multiplying? We've been given the hours, so we're going to divide or multiply. What do we think? So I have 2 hours here and I want to get rid of it. That means I'm gonna multiply, right? 600 liters per 1 hour. My units cancel out. Hour is gone. So then I'm left with 2 times 600 liters, which means it's going to be 1,200 liters, which makes sense. If 1 hour is 600 liters, then 2 hours will be twice that, which is 1,200 liters. Number B, how much water will flow into the dam in 3.5 hours? We've already established that we are multiplying. Do you see why it's important to have it as a unit ratio? So whatever we get here, we're just going to multiply by that. We don't even have to do a lot of work. Okay, so this time I have 3.5 hours times my rate, which is 600 liters per 1 hour. My unit is gone again, that I don't want. Okay, 3.5 times 600, that is 6, 12, 18 plus 3, which is 2,100 liters. And I'm going to check that. 3.5 times 600, yes. Okay, the next one says, how long in minutes? Pay attention to that. Will it take for 12,000 liters of water to flow into the dam? So before we get to the minutes part, will we be dividing or multiplying in this case? Will we be dividing or multiplying? Let me write it here, 12,000 liters. Yes, that's correct, Logan. And I'm going to divide it by my rate, which is 600 liters per 1 hour. Because then what I want is to cancel out these units. It's going to end up being 12,000 liters times 1 hour over 600 liters. Firstly, the units are gone. And now let's look at the numbers. How many times does 600 go into itself? 600 goes into itself how many times? That would be once, thank you, and into 12,000. Be careful, this is not 1,200, it's 12,000. So it goes into itself once, and into 12,000, how many times does it go? I'm checking here as well. It goes in 20 times. All right. Which means then we're left with 20 times 1 hour, which means it's 20 hours. But we have not answered the question because they asked us in minutes. How do we go from hours to minutes? How many minutes are in an hour, guys? How many minutes are in an hour? 60. So we have to take this 20 hours and multiply it by 60, which means we're going to have how many minutes? Let's check. Nice slogan. Thank you. 1,200 minutes. Okay. Number D is very similar. How long will it take for 10,000 liters of water to flow into the dam? So we're going to do the same thing. Okay. This time they didn't say in minutes, so it's going to be a shorter calculation. All we do is say 10,000. And we're going to divide by the rate, which is 600 liters per 1 hour. Okay, which will give us 10,000 liters times divided by 600 liters. The units are gone. They cancel each other out. Now, what is our highest common factor, excuse me, between 600 and 10,000? Highest common factor between 600 and 10,000. Remember, you can just multiply this and then divide it out, because with a rate, well, with any calculation, actually, we are allowed to have decimals. So if you don't know the highest common factor, you're just going to go ahead and say that's 10,000 times 1, which means it's 10,000 hours divided by 600. And what is that with decimals? What is that with decimals? What's 10,000 divided by 600? Anyone? Of course, I wrote 1,000 and 10,000. Thank you, Logan. 10,000. Please check again, Logan. 10,000 divided by 600. I get 16. Maybe that 5, I think that 5 was a typo. 16,67 hours. All right. Wonderful. Okay, so it was a typo. Welcome to the two that just joined us now. Okay, let me zoom this out while I take a thumbs up, thumbs down on this particular question. There we go. There's your time for screenshots. And can I have a thumbs up, thumbs down on the question that we did just now? No problem, Logan. Thank you for answering. Okay. All right. Now, I'm sure you've seen this triangle before. This is probably the most common thing that everyone knows about rates. Okay, this is the DSTV triangle. That's what they call it. Okay, and the main reason is because we have DST and then the V is the triangle going up and down. It's an upside down V, right? So this tells you what the formula is for working out distance, speed, and time. So if you look how it's arranged, the distance is at the top, which means to work out distance, you will be multiplying the other two. Do you see that? Distance is the only one where you multiply. All right. And then to work out speed, which is over here, you're going to say distance divided by time. And to work out time, which is on my right, you say distance divided by speed. Okay, so here's a summary of my formula, my formulae at the bottom. Okay, so speed is distance divided by time. Distance is speed times time, and time is distance divided by speed. But to remember it easily, you should just familiarize yourself with this triangle. Okay, now let's apply it a little bit. Let's do some application of this triangle. All right, if a car drives 200 kilometers in 2 hours, determine the speed in kilometers per hour. Okay, so they said determine the speed, so we know that we're using formula number 1. Okay, so speed is equal to distance divided by time. We've been given the distance, which is 200 kilometers, and my time is 2 hours. So what is my speed? What is 200 divided by 2? What's 200 divided by 2? Thank you. So then speed is 100. Thanks, Buhlali and Logan. And yeah, 100 kilometers / for per hour. So every hour you drive 100 kilometers, which is pretty fast. It's not that bad, but it's fast. Okay. This is back to normal ones. Okay, I run 6 meters per second. How far can I run in a minute? Firstly, we have a problem because we have 2 different units here. So we have to change these to the same unit. So in 1 minute, how many seconds are there? In 1 minute, how many seconds are there? 60. So I have 60 seconds. Now I want to know in 60 seconds, how far can I run if this is my speed? Oh, this is a distance, speed, and time question, actually. Right? What are we working out? How far? How far? Is that distance, speed, or time? Is this distance, speed, or time? Distance, right. So what is my formula for distance again? Formula for distance. Let me show you for 2 minutes. It's the only one where we are multiplying, remember? So distance is speed times time. Nice. Now we've been given the speed, which is 6 times, we've been given the time, which is 60 seconds, which means I run how much? What is 6 times 60? 360 meters. Nice. Okay. See, a car consumes fuel at a rate of 8 liters per 100 kilometers. How many liters are needed to travel 400 kilometers? So in this case, we do not have a unit rate, right? But it's fine. We can work with it. So we have 8 liters for 100 kilometers. And I want to know for 400 kilometers. Okay, I need to go from there to there. What do I have to multiply by to get there? I want to know from 100 to 400, what do I have to multiply by to get there? By 4, guys, right? But if I do that on the right-hand side, then I have to go do that on the left-hand side, which means how many liters will I need? 8 times 4, which is 32 liters. Thank you. Next says, how far will you travel if you have 50 liters? Number 2. So I'm going to start again at my rates. 8 liters goes 100 kilometers. This time they gave us the liter. Yeah, they gave us the liters. We have 50 liters. But can we go from 8 to 50? That's a bit more difficult, right? So how do you think we would solve this one? How do you think we would solve this one? I can get a unit rate. Do you guys see that? So if I figure out how long I can go with 1 liter, then I can take that 1 liter and I'll times it by 50. Okay, so let's start with the 1 liter thing. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go first to 1 liter, which means I'm going to divide by 8. But what I do on the left-hand side, I must do on the right. What's 100 divided by 8? Let's figure out how far we can travel for 1 liter. 12,5. Thank you. So for 1 liter, I can go 12,5 kilometers. But what they're telling us is we are traveling with 50 liters. So what am I going to times by to get to 50? 1 times 50. Okay. So then I have 12,5 times 50, which means how far can I travel if I have 50 liters? In kilometers, 625 kilometers. Okay, I hope you guys are learning how to change and switch these rates to find what you need to do. Okay, so you use your rate to get to where you need to be. No question is always the same. You must just think about it carefully. All right, which is the fastest car? Okay, we have A, which is traveling at 60 kilometers an hour. So A, I don't have to do anything with A. I just have to rewrite it. This is 60 for 1 hour. Okay. For B, how long are we traveling for 1 hour? How far do we travel for 1 hour? Let's find the unit rates for everyone. This one is 140 kilometers for 2 hours. So I have to divide by, what do I have to divide by? Because I want to know how long we're traveling for 1 hour. Nope. I have to divide by 2, guys. Of course, I'm going to write it on the wrong side. Divide by 2 on both sides. So then how long am I traveling for 1 hour? 70 kilometers an hour. So already the second one is faster than the first one, right? And for number C says 180 kilometers in 3 hours. So that is not a unit rate. So what am I going to divide that by to get to 1 hour? Nice, by 3. Nice, Logan. For 3 hours. So to know for 1 hour, I need to say 180 kilometers divided by 3, which means I'm traveling at 60. So then my speed is 60. So which one is the fastest? It turns out number A and number C are actually exactly the same. So which one is the fastest between these 3? That would be B, which is traveling at 70 kilometers an hour. Okay. Oh, there's a brain break, okay? Is anyone who wants to participate in this brain break? When does 9 and 5 equal 2? When does 9 and 5 equal 2? Anyone have an idea, guys? Come on, it's a brain break. It's supposed to be fun. 9 plus 5 equals 2. Is that ever true? Nobody has figured this out yet. Okay. If I start something at 9 o'clock in the morning and I finish it 5 hours later, when will I finish? When will I finish? From 9 and I take 5 hours to do it? Yeah, I'll finish at 2 in the afternoon. So that's when 9 plus 5 equals 2. You get it, guys? Okay, we're very quiet today. 2 mothers and 2 daughters each had 1 egg for breakfast, but they only ate 3 eggs altogether. How can this be? How is this possible? Dividing by 7? No, we didn't divide by 7, my darling. But they only eat 3 eggs altogether. How is this possible, guys? If 2 mothers and 2 daughters are having breakfast, how is it possible they only have 3 eggs? Why? Because we have a grandmother, the mom, and the daughter. Okay? 2 mothers. Grandma is mom's mom, and mom is daughter's mom. And 2 daughters. Daughter is mom's daughter, and mom is grandma's daughter. Do you guys get it? So they only need 3 eggs because it's only 3 people. Okay, Logan, think about it carefully, right? It says 2 daughters and 2 moms, okay? Grandma is the mother to mom. Do you see that? And mom is also their mom here. So that's 2 mothers, right? And 2 daughters. This one is this one's daughter, and mom is grandmother's daughter. But they're only actually 3 people. You see? Huh. I feel like it was becoming a tongue twister because I'm like, mom is what? Mom, yeah? So I'm like, wait, there's a lot going on. It was starting to become a tongue twister. Yeah. Do I have another one? Nope, this one's going to take forever. We'll do it in the next lesson. Okay. Let's practice writing our rates. Give the rate asked in brackets for each of the statements below. 400 words in 15 minutes. I want to know what is my rate in words per minute. So if I have 415 minutes, what am I going to divide by? What am I going to divide by? I want to know it for 1 minute. Come on, guys. Thank you. I'm going to divide it by 15. Okay, so what is 400 divided by 15 here? Okay, I'm going to check for myself. That is 20. I got 28. Did I just do the wrong calculation? Yes, I did. Of course, I did the wrong calculation. So that is 26, 6 words a minute. Now we have a problem with this. Can I have comma sixth of a word here? No. So what do we do? Do we round it up or down? Do you guys think we round it up or down? Okay, we can round it up. So that's about 27 words. A minute. Okay. Number B. For 1,500 kilometers in 9 hours. So I have 1,500 kilometers in 9 hours. So to get to 1 hour, what am I going to divide both sides by here? Thank you, by 9. So what's 1,500 divided by 9? 1,500 divided by 9. 166,6 kilometers an hour. Can I leave this one as a decimal? I can. Remember, distance can have decimals, right? I can say you traveled 1,5 kilometers. That's possible because it's a measurement. Okay. Okay, let's do E and then we can call it a day. It says 40 bricks per half hour. So per 30 minutes. Now I want to know for 1 minute. So what am I dividing both sides by? By 30, right? So what's 40 divided by 30? 40 divided by 30, 1,33 bricks per minute. Can I have 0.33 of a brick? No, so then we make it 1 brick per minute.